Matt Young here from King Parrot. Just halfway through our regional rampage tour at the moment. We've just done some shows in where have we been? Far out. I can't even remember.
Victoria, New South Wales, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah, we've done Victoria.
You're welcome.
We've done Victoria. We did Canberra. We haven't played in Canberra for a long time. We also did Albury, and we also played in Sunbury the other week, which was cool. All good shows. Had a great time, and we've got one little leg left in up in Queensland doing Brisbane at the zoo, and we're doing Sunshine Coast at the Soul Bar, and we're doing Vinny's Dive for a bit of an afternoon Gold Coast show.
Oh, yeah, that's June the 24th, 25th and 26th, I believe, too, if anyone in Queensland wants to come along.
Yeah, please do. Come along.
Right, yeah, man. So you say the shows have been going good, bro, but have you got any different delights for us on this show, mate? Is it any surprises you're springing on us?
Well, we don't we try and steer away from, as much as the King Parrot show probably looks like a gimmick to most people, we just try and steer away from gimmicks as much as possible, and whatever you see is what you get. So no, I think more so, man, we're just enjoying getting back out on the road and playing shows again and playing live and remembering how to play the songs. Because most of our songs are short, so we usually jam in about, usually between 15 and 20 songs in an hour set or whatnot. So it's just been great, man, just to get back with the boys, get out on the road, talk shit, hang out, do stupid shit. Our shows are always so spontaneous and fun and high energy. It's just been great to experience that again. And I guess from my perspective, doing the managerial role and, being behind the business aspect of the band, I've been kind of nervous, I guess, just kind of going, well, we haven't played for such a long time, other than a few sporadic shows here and there. These people in these regional areas, they're going to come back out. And, I've been pleasantly surprised that, they haven't forgotten us and that they've missed us and we've missed them. And it's just been it's almost been a celebration of sorts, just getting back out there and playing again.
So as you mentioned, mate, it is a regional rampage show. So as the name suggests, it takes in a lot of places out of the way that bands don't normally go. So as a band, man, what do you get out of playing those shows in places that might be a bit harder to schedule than a capital city run?
Well, I just think people, for instance, when we played in Ballarat the other night, there's such a good crowd of people there, of heavy music fans out in Ballarat, and they're a little bit further out from Melbourne than, say, Geelong or Frankston or something like that. They're just that little bit further away. And what I find is in a place like Ballarat is that, there's people there that they can't, or they don't generally travel to Melbourne for a show, unless it's some big international band or whatever. So, you get to catch up with these people that you don't normally see, or that you wouldn't regularly see at a show in a city, where you sort of tend to play more frequently. So, man, it's just nice to be out there and networking and playing with the local bands out in those areas and being able to sort of, I guess capitalise on the work that we've done over the years in making a point of travelling to those places. We've always done that since the start of the band. We've always sort of made a point of playing in regional areas, and we've done other regional rampage tours, which is sort of our little thing that our tour that we call it regional rampage. We've done stuff where we've done a lot more shows and been to a lot more different places and a lot more varied places and whatnot, but it's just nice to be back out there and seeing these people that you might not often get to see at a Melbourne or a Sydney or a Brisbane show with us. So yeah, that's one of my favourite parts of it, and one of the best parts is sort of rewarding those people that won't or don't get the opportunity to go into the city shows and stuff.
I think another thing too, man, that you guys do really well is you've got two bands that you're taking around for all the shows with you, but every place you're playing at, you're using at least one local band and giving them a bit of exposure, man. That's a very commendable effort.
Yeah, oh man, that's something that we've always been passionate about as well, bro. We love given local bands or up and coming bands or whatever the opportunity to sort of play and do that. Like, lots of bands did that for us in the beginning too. And we like to be able to sort of do that as well. And, in terms of like bands like Chuff and High as Hell, bringing that, we're going to take them up to Queensland. That'll be, a great opportunity for those guys to be able to sort of play to bigger audiences up there as well. So it's exciting, it's fun, and we like doing that stuff. It's important to do it. It's important to keep the scene going, and that's what we want to do.
So anyone who's seen a King Parrot show, mate, will attest to the fast-paced, full metal assault nature of the performance. But with all due respect, man, like, you guys aren't poster boys for Sports Illustrated. So do you do any sort of preparation before a tour?
Well, listen, mate, I am fucking working on it, bro. I got a gym membership just like a week ago.
Yeah, you've got to go too, mate.
Yeah, well, I look, man, we've had a baby recently, and I've had 2 years of kind of going, yeah, I'm just being a dad, being at home, and being a bit lazy. But I'm getting into the gym, man. I'm working on it. All right.
You lose half your charm if you do that, though, mate. Like, I love the fact people look up on stage, like someone like myself that isn't really an athlete, but look up on stage and see you guys. It's inspirational. Like, the shirts are off and the bellies are hanging out. It's like, and you're still rocking like fuck, mate. Like, don't change. It's an inspiration.
No, that's it. Well, I don't know. I just think back to the early days, when I was a little bit more in shape and I was a little bit fitter, and I used to go right, absolutely troppo. And, we're starting to talk about doing a new record and doing all that. And I kind of feel like I want to get into a bit more of a healthier mental and physical state to be able to sort of write that and do it, and then, tour it afterwards as well. So I kind of want to recapture some of that energy that we had early on, and do that. So yeah, that's what I'm working on, man. I haven't lost too many kilos yet, but I have been in the gym a little bit.
I don't know if you can see my face, but I'm sort of holding back laughter at the moment, mate. But
it's all right, bro. It's okay, man. You're gonna have to try harder than that to offend me.
So just say, man, like, everyone knows how full on your shows are, bro. But if you had to put one of those stupid warning label stickers on a King Parrot show, what would it say?
Slippery when wet. Is that suitable?
Yeah, mate, that'll do. That's actually a lot better than what I thought I was going to get, so that'll do.
What did you think you were going to get?
Oh, mate, there was a plethora of different answers you could have given me, mate. Fuck it. I believe after you finish this one, it shows off, mate, you're planning on going overseas for a bit.
Well, we're actually having a bit of a breather. We're going to have a break. For the rest of this year, we're going to have a break. We're going to have a break from playing live. We've got a few things booked in already toward the end of the year. We've got the Froth and Fury thing over in Adelaide, which is going to be really cool. And there's a couple other little fests. And we're talking about just doing a short run of shows before Christmas. But we want to spend the next 6 months sort of writing and capitalising on all the demo ideas that we've had over the last few years, and try and get a new record together, because we're all kind of getting into that sort of headspace where we want to create and write and do that. And we really need to do a new record. And we're feeling like we've got enough material to do a new record now. So, we've been spending a bit of time listening to all the demos that we've done over the last, 3-4 years, whatever it's been. And there's, there must be at least 15 song ideas there, I reckon. So, we're going to try and knuckle down and get into Squizzy's little studio in his garage.
Yeah, Crap Shack.
Squizzy's Crap Shack, man. And we're going to get in there and bust out some demos, and then, hopefully either, toward the end of the year or early next year, we'll try and get in there and record it properly, and have a new record and stuff for next year. That's the plan. And we've been talking to our agents, in America and in Europe, and definitely got some plans to get back over to both, and play and get out there and do some tours, man. Do what we've always done, you know, and play shows and play a lot of shows and get out and see our friends over there as well.
Mm. So when you say like you've got a bit of music done on your demos and stuff, man, like would you say King Parrot have got a sound per se, or like when you write music, does there still a bit of scope for experimentation in there?
Oh man, I think we're one of those lucky bands where we always sound like King Parrot. I think you'd have to agree, you know, like
Yeah, most definitely.
when you hear it, you go, "That's King Parrot," you know, like, and we're lucky we've always had that sort of distinctive sound since the beginning. And I think, you know, sometimes a lot of bands have to experiment, change, and do whatever. But what we're lucky with is that we can do a whole bunch of different stuff within our sound, you know, and there's rock elements in there. There's always been rock and roll elements in our band, you know, and but there's also been like hardcore elements, death metal, thrash metal, grindcore, punk rock, you know, and I'd say predominantly, you know, we are more so like a grindcore band, but it's definitely not just a straight up grindcore band, but it has that harsh sound and intensity about it that pushes it into that sort of world. But I think, as you would see from the shows and stuff, it definitely crosses over into other audiences as well. It's not just a grindcore audience. So, yeah, man, we're lucky in that regard. We can do a whole lot of different things. You know, we can put a whole lot of our different influences in there, and it still kind of sounds like us, which is great.
Yeah. And then, have you ever given much thought to doing a ballad King Parrot style?
Well,
Is it possible? Is it possible?
Well, look, I don't know. I really don't know, man. I mean, I'd be willing to give it a shot. You know, I can, you know.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
No, you know, we did an AC/DC cover a few years ago. We did Nervous Shakedown, which is an old Brian Johnson song. But you know what? It's fucking sounded good, and I was sort of like, fuck. When I was singing it, I was like, fuck, I don't really have to try too much to sort of sound a little bit like Brian Johnson, which is kind of weird. I never really sort of thought about it like that until we actually did that song, and I was like, fuck, this isn't as I mean, you know, obviously he's a million times better vocalist than what I am, but
I wouldn't say a million, mate. Come on, say yourself short.
But he, you know, like, it was fun. You know, we had a great time with it. You know, and it's a really killer song, and I didn't have to stretch my vocal ability too hard to make it sound semi decent. You know.
Well, you know, I'm going to expect that at the Brisbane show now, mate.
Nervous Shakedown, you want
Yeah.
it? I don't know about that. We sometimes do it at soundcheck, but we haven't played it live for a while. But you know, maybe I'll hit the boys up and see what we can come up with. We haven't, you know,
mate. If you fucking do it for me, I'll chuck me robe on.
Maybe I'll maybe you'll have to come down to soundcheck, and we'll do it at soundcheck for you.
Done deal. All right, bro. Well, I'm actually on the road myself at the moment with Piston Fist and Chaosis. We've got a gig at Frankie's tonight, but I sort of thought I'd throw it out to the boys and from Piston Fist and get a question off each of them for you. So a couple of them, I think one of them is sort of half serious and the rest are a bit how you go. So we'll start with a half serious one first from Damo, the drummer. He wants to know if you personally, you've got any side projects going at the moment.
Yeah, I do actually. I've been working with Joe and Dave from Psychroptic and Brett from Revocation on the new Crisis Act recording. We've got, I think, 9 songs. If you heard the first one, you know, it's similar in length, you know, 10 minutes, 12 minutes of just non-stop grindcore madness, done by the Psychroptic dudes. So it's sort of, they're trying to keep it as simple as possible. Well, it's still kind of, you can still kind of hear that it's them a little bit, you know, but with me singing on it, obviously. So, yeah, we've pretty much done that. Brett from Revocation's doing the bass for it at the moment, and we should have a release out again pretty soon. We're going to like get cracking on that pretty soon. So, yeah, I've been doing that, and been having a couple of jams with an old mate of mine, James Rose, who's played in a few bands like Dire Blaze and